Hey everybody, welcome to Review Time with iSlip. I am iSlip, and today I'm doing things a little bit differently. I'm using my iPhone, and it's connected to my computer, and I'm recording this using OBS. So, sorry that the sound sounds bad, but we'll get through it. Today we're going to be taking a look at a figure that I thought I reviewed. I really thought I did this, and I really meant to back when it was still relevant, when I first got it, but I, for whatever reason, cannot find a review on it. I don't know if I reviewed it and then took it off, or maybe it got taken off. I don't know. But that said, we're looking at Reveal the Shield Jazz. And this was from, like 6 years ago, I believe this line came out. And the main gimmick, aside from some automorphin, was that they had a reveal shield, which it's hot in here, so mine is partially revealed. But if I go like this, you can see the shield still works. He's an Autobot. I don't like it. I really don't like it. This is not a good place for it. It should be up here. And yeah, I don't like it. As far as the shield, I don't like the shield. As far as the car mode is concerned, it's not bad. It sort of reminds me of the movie Solstice and like the Porsche mixed together. Like it's squat like a Solstice, but it's definitely got some Porsche-ish designs to it, even though it's not necessarily the Porsche that he turned into in G1. But yeah. And his weapon does store underneath the car. So you can take his gun and store it underneath the car. So it's always together. It's out of the way. It does roll fairly nicely. And he does have a gimmick where you open up the doors, flip these pieces around. You can see that the windshields also, there's what's the word I'm looking for? It's a separate piece, flips over like this. You take these pieces here, rotate that around and close the door, and then you've got his speaker weapons like he had in G1, except that the speaker weapons in G1 looked like bullhorns. Like those things you put to your mouth and you speak into it and you're like, ah, blah, blah, and nobody understands you anyway. Yeah, this looks like an actual speaker. That's pretty cool. We'll take the other one out. Flip it on over. Make sure we're still recording. Okay. So, flip that out. Close that up. And then get this situated so it's where it needs to be. And there we have the car mode, and it still rolls. Still rolls. So, and it's interesting. I like these speakers. They look nice. And I like that it's incorporated into the vehicle mode. Now, in G1, the speakers would have actually come out more towards the back, but this is not G1. And it attaches via a clip system like the, was it the second movie line? The second Transformers movie line had a bunch of clip weapons. So this has clip weapons, and you can attach it to any vehicle or anything that has that little, is a 3mm clip, 3.5mm clip. I forget which one it is, but yeah, you can do that. It also clips with the weapon later on, but we'll go over that later. So let's go ahead and take this back to its car mode, and we're just gonna rotate this piece back like this, rotate that up, and then take the speakers and make sure that the speakers themselves are facing down, and they will just kind of plug in right there. Move this on over a little bit. So it'll plug in right there. If you do it right, there we go. Plugs in right there, and then you just close the door. And there we go. Close the door. There we go. Snap in. Flip this over. Straighten that out and make sure that it's facing down. And then that clips in like so, and then close it, and there you go. Car mode all secure. It's not a bad car mode. It's a little plain, especially considering all the details on all the car modes we've been getting lately. And of course, the paint job could have been a lot better. It looks like it's molded plastic, and then up here, because this is all translucent, it's painted, and unfortunately, I don't know if it's coming off that well, but this white is a white, like a pure, like a real white, and then this is more like an almost ivory or off-white or something. It is definitely not the same color whites. But, yeah. At the time, you could have gotten this guy, I believe you could have gotten this guy as part of the Henkei line, or whatever the Japanese line was being called at the time, and of course, it would have come out with a better paint scheme. That's just how it was at the time. We got the Hasbro paint scheme, and the Japanese got the better paint scheme. It is just how it was. Now, everybody gets the same paint scheme. So here he is with this one came out last year. What was it? The Power of the Primes Jazz. And while I think this car mode is more Jazz-like, I have to admit that this car mode just looks so much nicer. I still think this should have been Crasher. They should have made this into Crasher, but and it's not a fair comparison because this toy came out like 6 years ago. This toy came out last year. The engineering and everything has come up quite a bit since then. But go ahead and put them on top, and you can kind of see that they're almost the same length. That this Jazz is definitely the longer of the two. Let's go ahead and get Transformers Siege Optimus Prime, and they don't quite fit together very well. Part of it is because this is a Cybertronian truck mode. Also, it's a toy from within the last year, and it's got a lot more detail and a lot more paint than this guy does. Not even, well, yeah, it's got, well, it's not that it's got a lot more paint, it just has paint in all the right places like it should, and this one just feels lacking. And also the colors are more uniform. The reds are all the same kind of red. The blue is blue, silver. It doesn't look like they tried to, like they molded it in one color and then tried to paint over it with the same color for a different part. All the parts kind of look uniform. It's weird. I know, this is Hasbro. But in robot mode, I think they fit together fairly decently. So we'll go ahead and take this out. Speaking of robot mode, let's go ahead and let me turn my light over a little bit. Let's move it over a little bit. There we go. Because it's hitting me in the arm and it's pissing me off. So let's go ahead and, well, actually let's raise this up a little. Raise this up a little and then tilt this down a little. There we go. So we have more light. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, as with most of the Transformer car formers at the time, is go ahead and open the doors to get started. We're going to go ahead and take these bits, pull them like that out, and then we're going to, oh, probably should have taken the gun out. My bad. So, take the gun out, and then you'll move the arms out. When you do, you'll see that the four splits and makes way. And this is a very, this kind of very much reminds me of the G1 transformation, the G1 Jazz. Even though I never had it, but I've seen it transformed a million times, so we'll just pretend that I have had it. We'll go ahead and pull these bits off, and we're going to go ahead and flip these pieces out, like so, and flip these pieces down here, like this, And this bit right here springs out to fill in the gap, so there's no huge gap issue. Like there, it's a bit of a gap, but it's covered. See, look, see, that's pretty nice. We could use some of that in the current generation of things. Straighten out what's going to be the legs, split them apart, and you've got the legs pretty much done. Then you're going to take this bit, you're going to pull it down, and as you pull it down, there's a bit of automorphing where the head part just kind of comes up in its place. And there you go. That's pretty much it. And this piece just kind of slides into where it's supposed to go as this is coming down, and everything is just kind of there. It doesn't lock. That does not lock into place, but it still is a very good representation of jazz. Now, at the time, there was a big issue. People had an issue with his face because he was unhappy looking. It wasn't jazz enough for them. And at the time, I mean, I don't understand why that was an issue, because we're talking about giant robots that have been in a war for millions upon millions of years. Why would you be smiling? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. You'd have to be some kind of psychopath or something. And that was pretty much it. The doors kind of just stayed out. He had door wings, which, kind of sucked. I mean, if you posed them from the front and put the wings to the back, then you kind of didn't see them. But, it is what it is. There's nothing much you could do about it. The original toy had door wings, even though in the cartoon and the shows and everything, he did not. Yeah. And this is not a bad jazz at all. This actually looks fairly decent, fairly good. Just having a bit of a problem getting him to stand because there we go. Because I overextended his heel, so there we go. So he is very, very posable. He doesn't have the rockers on his feet, but they are cut in an A stance, so you can get an A stance out of them. And that's the thing I don't understand about the current line. Oh my God, he is a little bit back heavy. So getting him to stand can be a bit of a chore. So there we go. I'm trying to get him to stand as I'm talking. I'm gonna have to stop. There we go. Let's move this over. Here we go. And there we go. Then we have our Jazz in robot mode, and he is pretty. He's really nice. He looks like Jazz. He has a lot of posability. His arms can go forward. They can't really do a full 360. You have to kind of pull them out and do it and move it because of the wheels on his shoulders. But that still doesn't hamper the articulation you can get with this guy. He has a bicep swivel. He has a double. There we go. Double arm, double elbow bend. His hands are on a ball joint, so they do kind of wiggle around, and you can rotate them. Though it's still tight after all these years. He has a waist swivel. The head is on a ball joint, so you get a lot of wiggly waggly, and there is light piping, and it's actually pretty good light piping, but I can't show it to you because the light is all facing towards him. So there's not really anything I can do to show that. Do I have anything to show off the light? I don't. Legs are on, I believe that's universal. I don't know. They swing all the way forward. They can't go all the way back because of the hood, but if the hood was not in the way, you could get all the way back. Upper thigh swivel. He's got a double knee bend, and his feet pivot back and forth, but they don't go side to side. So you can get a lot of poses. It's just a matter of balancing him and also not hyperextending the heels, which I keep doing. The heels click into a position so that they don't. Let's see if I can I get you into a decent pose. Come on, guy. I can. There we go. And then you just take the gun, which flips up and out like so. Oops. There we go. There we go. There's his gun. And just a black piece of, well, a few black pieces of plastic. No paint on it, but it looks okay. It looks okay, and he looks pretty good. Like I said, he is not a bad Jazz at all. He's definitely better than the Jazz we got with the War for Cybertron line. So, there's that. Let's go ahead and get him standing up. Again, you can flip out the speaker weapons and have his speaker weapons deployed if you wish. You can do that. You can also pull the speaker weapons off and attach them to his gun to make like a super gun. So let's go ahead and, oops, that came off at the wrong peg. Hold on a second. Okay, take his gun, and then you just clip it like so. Just clip it. That's upside down. It should be the other way around. There we go. You must clip it. Something, something, something. You must clip it. I don't care. I don't get paid anyway. And then you just, okay, it's supposed to stay on there. Then you just kind of, I don't remember exactly how this works. I don't remember if it's like his gun is just like this giant speaker thing, or if it's supposed to spread open, or if it's supposed to just go to the side, and maybe the battery packs. I don't really know. Actually, turn it like this, it almost looks like a bird. Almost looks like a bird former. Squee, or, crossbow weapon. Why not? But you have options with which you can work. And I think it's just supposed to be like that. Like double speakers, and then he just holds it. So let's see if I can get him. So stand and hold it. Okay, there we go. Okay, and there, he has his megaphone of doom. Here we go with Power of the Prime's Jazz. And, I mean, it's not a bad figure. I like it. I just like the paint on this guy a little bit better, if I'm honest with you. He is a little bit bigger, definitely beefier, and I think some parts on him work better than some parts on him. Looking at the heads, I like this one's a little bit more than I like this guy over here a little bit more than this one for the head. Not because of the shape. The shape is actually better on this guy, but he's got the painted visor. I never really cared much for light piping. Light piping was only cool if you had a light to go behind it. Otherwise, you have dead eyes, which you can see here. Here he is with, oops, with Siege, Optimus, and I think that looks pretty decent. I mean, again, this Optimus is a little more detailed and got all those stupid splotches. I really don't like those anymore. I didn't much like them before, but I really hate it. But he doesn't. He's okay. He's okay enough. He's got enough detail where he's okay. I think these two look okay together. And then when you get into the rest of the guys, let me see if I can get some more of them. Here we have Reveal the Shield Bumblebee. from the classics mode. Who am I grabbing? I can't see who I'm grabbing. They're behind me. Sideswipe and Hound. And honestly, I think that looks okay. I think he'll do good, at least until we get a version of Jazz for this line. I'm not 100% sure who they use. They probably end up using the Prowl mold, because that actually, the transformation actually is very similar to what we got with to what we got with like the G1 molds, Jazz and the Dotson brothers, Prowl, and they all had a very, very, very similar transformation, including the back end of the car becoming the feet, the chest becoming the bumper, becoming the chest, and the door wings. That was a G1 Transformer thing. So, let's see, is there any way to pop those? No, there's a big old pin there, so unless you pop off the pin, you can't pop off the door, whatchamacallits. You're just kind of stuck. And the whole shoulder, I don't remember if the G1, I think the G1 had wheel shoulders as well. So anyway, that was my review of Reveal the Shield Jazz. And hopefully it came out okay, because again, using OBS, and I have to keep turning around backwards to see my figure. Let's see, and I'm using my cell phone as the camera, but it looks like it's going well, so hopefully it's going well. I'm Islip. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And you can still pick up this guy probably on eBay. Maybe Big Bad Toy Store might still have them and TF Source and those, but most likely your best bet's going to be eBay and Amazon, I guess. Hopefully you'll be able to get them for a decent price. I don't know. I don't know what this figure's going for online anymore. But that's it. I'm Islip. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and ciao.